Last night it was 92 apiece. In round 8 it was 93
Unbelievable. Incredible.
apiece. They had never played a draw up until round 8, and then they played 2 in the one season. Game of the year, Shorey?
No, the week before, 3-0 Melbourne was, but it was up there. And I just said to Laura off air, I said, does it show that I think our game, with a few of the rule changes, we know there's a couple we'd like to get changed again, but that the projection of how our game was born, that we might be seeing that coming back a little bit? I think it is. I think the scoring's going through the roof, the clearances are cleaner, not so much congestion. All the things that you want in the game. And those 2 games that we were talking about last week and yesterday,
even
they were finals and pressure.
Even over in Perth.
Yeah, that was a great game.
That was a good game as well.
Good sides are playing the way the game should be played, which I love.
You know what I take out of last night? Just how well coached Collingwood are. Their pressure, not 90 tackles.
90-odd tackles, yeah.
That kept them in the contest. You looked at them last night and you thought Hawthorn had lost last week. You just thought they're playing for top 4. They probably might be a little bit too good. You looked at Collingwood's team. They had 5 players under 10 games last night. Puncher, 7 games. Charlie West, 8. Howes, 2. Will Hayes in his 10th game. And Sam Swadling, what a player he is. 5 players under 10 games. The future's actually looking really good at Collingwood, isn't it, with their young guys? Everyone thought at the start of the year they didn't have any good young players. They certainly do.
It didn't look like it, did it?
No, it didn't look like it at the start of the year. But, gee, they've found some players and Fly's got their system drilled down so well. They're just in every game, the Pies.
Through injury and also through, which is a big one, the Pendlebury and side-bottom situation that they're going to be rested. And a few of them have been rested, not just those 2. It gives you opportunity to maybe play 2 or 3 games in a row rather than 1 and then go back.
Yeah, they'll rest people next week.
Like even Harvey Harrison, he was stiff that he dropped Harvey Harrison, but you brought back DeGoey and Pendlebury, and he came in last night late for Sidebottom, who was ill, and did a really good job. You know, just the game itself is more important to me, and sometimes the results. You know, it's.
What about the reaction from the coaches?
Yeah,
I think Fly was so pumped because he looked at the team and 5 under 10. He knows how good an effort that was.
It was so different, though. I thought he was actually trying to get the crowd to be involved. I didn't realise he was just looking at his team. I thought he was like saying, come on, everyone, celebrate.
I think he's absolutely thrilled with what he's grouped in. Of course, he wants to win. But to get a couple of points out of that and to see the young players playing so well...
Is Sam Mitchell, though?
Well, he's
so disappointed.
Well, he's playing for top 4. You want that double chance. If you want to win a flag, you want that double chance.
Craig McRae last night, was that part of his We Are Winners? We saw a game, I think it was last year, against Geelong where there were players lying down and he said, I don't want that.
That was a few years ago.
Yeah, we need to act like winners. And I think to him, the draw last night, let's not get down because the crowd was quite stunned. The players were quite stunned. But this to us, we've got 2 points. We act like winners. And he wanted to pump his team up, pump his crowd up to go, this is as good as a win for us.
That invincibility that they had 2 years ago, that waned last year. They lost some close games, and that waned a little bit. They were nearly 20 points down, I think, with 9 minutes to go yesterday, and got back in and drew the game. Look, like I said, it was a big result for both teams in a way, but to me, the football, I've been so critical of how our game, our game was built on a lot of things that should remain, but we've had coaches and never ask a coach about what should happen in the rules of the game because they're all conflicted. There is no doubt they're all good. Then they say they love the game and that, but you are there employed to win a game, and that's what you have to do. And you change the way that the rules are interpreted if you can by playing a certain way. So I just love how the game's been played.
Yeah, I think Mitchell just would be really disappointed they didn't win that game because they were up by 20 points, as you said. They go to Perth next week.
Yeah, so if you're going for top 4.
Yeah, so they should have. If they win last night, they're 64. They go to Perth next week to play the Eagles. They should win that. Yeah.
Are you resting players if you're him?
Mitchell?
Do you think you can afford to?
No, because you're actually probably looking at the ladder. He would love to have won last night, and then they win next week. You probably get away from 4th position. you get away from going to Fremantle.
And regardless, they'll get that week off.
Yeah.
But Collingwood is a different scenario where they can, because they're not going to change where they are on the ladder.
A few. They should rest any guys they're a bit worried about being a bit sore. Like Isaac Quain, or you think?
He's sore, and he'll be one.
And if you're a Pies fan out there, who do you think should you rest players? And if you are going to rest, who do you think you need to rest?
Nick Dacos.
You don't want to get him injured,
No.
Who's your players that you need to rest?
What if it comes down to round, not that it will, but you never know how umpires are going to assess. You want him to be rested for a game when he needs 2 votes in round 24 to take the
Well, there is that argument.
I agree.
He's got to be far enough ahead.
Nick wouldn't want to be rested, but
he wouldn't want to be.
You don't put individual glory over the team.
133693 Collingwood fans, who would you be resting next week? Take on Brisbane. That game's certainly more important.
Or do you not rest anyone? Do you keep momentum up?
Do you keep winning form? Is good form going? I want to pick up on something that both of you said with relation to the game. And we saw Melbourne and Fremantle last week. Richo, you said Fremantle and Adelaide Friday night, obviously last night. Hawthorn and Collingwood. We're very quick to be critical of the game, give hot takes, give opinion. That's part of the job. Is the game as in bad a state as so many people make it out to be? Because those games were awesome.
Who says that, though? Who says the game's in bad shape?
I think a lot of fans believe.
Do they?
No, they could.
They disenfranchised.
I'm a bit
few
with
rules
you.
people can be frustrated with.
A lot of my age group.
133693. Keen to hear from you. Are there too many critics about the game? Is the game as bad as it seems? Because, again, based on last night and a few recent games, it looks pretty bloody good to be.
There are plenty of poor games.
Every year there's poor games.
But there's always been poor games.
If you can't see the difference between what was happening even up to 2 years ago or even last year, there is a definite difference with the new rules that have come in to open the game up, to get the ball moving better. The centre bounce are standing out like, doggies things. It's just the way it is. It is. The centre bounce is now a scoring.
Slollies.
Yeah, that too. It's just a scoring area now, which it never was, because we had the wrestling. We'd have 4 different contests after contest. It's brilliant at the moment.
133693. Keen to hear from you. Just before we get to your calls, Craig McRae was asked last night with regard to the performance, the fact that they didn't come away with the win, but what did tick the boxes for the Pies?
It's always hard to know how to react after a draw, but I thought we won a lot of things tonight, and the scoreboard wasn't one of them, but we won a lot of things, and just immensely proud of our group right now.
So that was Craig McRae. For Sam Mitchell, it was a case of sit back and watch as Dylan Moore had that final shot at goal.
The thing I thought about was, as he was running in, I didn't want when you step off the line and it's play on, I was like, just get him to take the whole 30, make sure he doesn't end up with the play on. So you got no control. At that time, you can't get a message out, you can't do anything. So I'm a glorified fan at that point, to be honest.
Got to give credit to, when we mentioned the young kids at Collingwood, Sam swaddling over the back. It was the only one we got a chance to see the replay, to know the impact that he had on ensuring that ball didn't go over.
That to me just is a team that's fully switched in and concentrating at all times. That they knew to just keep that ball in play. These are little things that, sometimes players lose concentration with those sort of things. But Collingwood, they just do the right things all the time.
Mel, good afternoon. G'day, Mel.
When that young Hawthorn boy kicked the ball, it was one of the second last goals, his foot was about a foot over the goal line when he kicked the ball through and no one talked about it on the screen. He was over the line. That should have gone upstairs. That should have been a point.
Well, they normally check all of those things. Yeah.
Yeah, they would have checked it, Mel, especially the fact that it was a goal. It would have been checked by the ARC, and they have that opportunity to review it and hold play. There were a couple of issues late. There was the tackle on Scott Pendlebury that was adjudicated
from an umpire 60 metres away.
60? I thought it was 100 metres away. He almost needed binoculars like I did to see the incident. Yeah. You have that, and then you have the James Sicily.
No, now let's leave that as a roast, because I'm going to roast myself on that. That wasn't James Sicily's fault.
So it wasn't demonstrative?
No. He wasn't the cause of that. If you watch the replay, and I watched it this morning, there was another player involved.
Rightio.
So you
want to hold fire?
No, I'll go with it. I apologise to James Sicily right now because I got it wrong.
No, in the moment we did think it was James Sicily.
You could see him.
He was.
That would have been. And it's James Sicily.
Yeah, correct.
That would have been paid last year. But it wasn't. It was your mate, Tom Barras or Barras?
Why is it your mate?
Barras.
Yeah.
Are you friends?
No.
No, well, because every time I say it. All right, Tom Barras.
Barras.
Oh, Barras.
That's probably why you think we're mates, because I get his name right.
Well, how come it's Ron Barassi and it's Tom Barras?
Why is it Harry Mackay and Abby McKay?
Hey,
there you go.
Shane,
Anyway.
just remember one thing. Shorey gets a lot of names wrong.
No, hold on. That was his fault. And the umpire, he looked at the umpire and pointed, and it was the umpire who wasn't in control who then called the 50-metre penalty. So I apologise to James Sicily.
Tommy
When we get it
Barras
wrong,
pointed at the big screen.
No, he pointed at the umpire saying,
yeah.
you made that decision, so there you go.
All right.
All right.
Good. No.
I don't like apologising.
Mel, thank you. G'day, Dave.
G'day, Shane. Firstly, you and Shorey, great call last night. I turned the volume down on the TV and listened to you guys, and it was a fabulous game, and I'm a very happy Pies supporter. Probably early in the year, I reckon I was thinking doom and gloom because I didn't think we were sort of blooding young guys and we didn't have much coming through. We're obviously going to lose a lot, but, yeah, it's turned around, and I'm pretty excited for the future for the Pies. Also, who they should rest, I think, yeah, definitely Nick Dacos. I agree with you there, Laura. And probably they've got to pay attention to the guys that have been out. If any of them are ready to come back, it'd be good for them to get some game time before the wildcard round. So guys like Maynard and Howe, Perryman, Lipinski.
Yeah, they're a few.
A few of those are coming back.
Well, so you're not going to rest Pendles or Sidebottom because Sidey's already had a rest with his illness,
and
but
Pendles was rested
just
last
come
week.
back. Yeah, so they'll play. I don't know how many of those are coming back though.
Are you guys
not Maynard? I don't think.
Are you guys rest guys, or are you winning form is good form? They've now won 8 of their past. They've now won 8 of their past 9 games. Collingwood.
I'm a rest guy.
You're a rest girl.
I like teams winning going into...
That's after your weight session.
That's right.
The rest.
I like teams winning going into finals because I think if you look at recent history, premiership teams don't lose a lot after around 16, 17. They normally get on a run. If you have a look at that, it's pretty good examples in history. But if you've got, like at Freo, right, Alex Pearce, he's carrying a knee. There's no doubt that Alex... He's sore, and he was sore again the other night. Why wouldn't Freo... They can't move from top spot. Why wouldn't they rest Alex Pearce?
No,
give him 2 weeks to get that knee right. So in situations like that, I agree with it. But don't, I think winning form is good form, though, going into September.
Oh, I don't worry about. I think the resting is really important now. They know where they are. Just the top sides to me just look all like they're in control of everything, and that's all facets of their football. Off field and on field, so that's why they're so good.
The $100 gift card, always thanks to Harvey Norman. Best range, best price as always at Harvey Norman. We've got a $100 gift card to give away between now and 3 o'clock. G'day, Rob.
Good afternoon, everyone. Richo.
Yes, Rob.
Hawthorn will be on 62, mate, if they won last night, not 64. So all that would have guaranteed...
62.
Yeah, they can still go back to the wild card. I was just having a look at the ladder. Like, if things go horribly wrong from against the West Coast, they can still finish 7th if the Adelaide have a big win against GWS next week. So that sort of would have guaranteed them a top 6 spot, not a top 4. They wouldn't have been quite there. Yep. So,
but I think my point was, Rob, that Sam Mitchell knew how costly that was, and the fact that, as you're saying, they could drop down. So thanks for correcting that.
I mean, it's significant for Carlton as well.
Yep.
You go, Carlton wins today, they're in 10th and then ensconced there. If things don't go to plan for Adelaide, they could be off to Adelaide Oval in week in the wild card rounds as opposed to playing.
I think Adelaide will finish 7th now, even if they win next week, because Geelong are not losing. They're going to 60, and their percentage is better.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think Adelaide are pretty much.
Melbourne has the Western Bulldogs, and the Dogs don't have a lot to play for at the moment. They're ensconced in the wild card. But I dare say the Bulldogs will want to keep winning to avoid Adelaide in week 1 of the wild